Welcome back to page 121. Not too long ago I took a look at the Bandit Kingdoms. Let's take a look at their neighbor, the Shieldlands. You can see the Rift Crag canyons there, the tangles. That's all the Bandit Kingdoms over here. The Shieldlands are here. And you're saying, okay, Shieldlands, that's fine. I'm going to be giving the information from the 1983 Gold Box set instead of From the Ashes, because in From the Ashes, the Shieldlands are conquered and they become this horrific place where literally demons walk and the whole thing's kind of scary and creepy. And to be sure, I let some of that happen in my campaign, mostly to the west and to the north. But in the From the Ashes, the Shieldlands are completely demolished, the government's completely gone, and Ayuz's forces reign free. Again, I didn't like the idea of one creature, even if it's Ayuz, being that pervasive, so I kept the Shieldlands really to the south and to the east intact. And they're on Admin Fort, that's the island right here, that's where the government was headquartered and everything, so I kept that the same. Interesting, they call this Bright Century on this map. It's also known as Scragholm Island, which Scragholms are aquatic trolls. In my campaign, Craig ran my character Stormcrow through a long series of events where myself and my associates cleared off the island, and now it is Stormcrow Isle, and it's its own little independent principality, whatever you want to call it, allied with Furiandi, but also with the Shieldlands. So just how I changed things a little bit in my world of Greyhawk. But the Shieldlands themselves, the southern section and Admin Fort are both still free, and both are working government, but there are plenty of horrible places along the river and up to the north and bordering the Bandit Kingdom. So it's definitely a place of adventure and intrigue. So let's take a look at what the Gold Book has to say about the Shieldlands. Shieldlands. I'll zoom in a little bit on that. His Most Honorable Worship, Holmer, the Earl of Walworth, Knight Commander of the Shieldlands. Capital is Admin Fort, 21,300 approximately living there. Total population of the Shieldlands, 65,000. That's very few for an area this big. Demi-humans few, humanoids few. Resources, foodstuffs. This is a little bit of a breadbasket, like Furiandi, breadbasket to feed a lot of Greyhawk. When the Bandit Kings began to grow powerful, the petty nobles of the north shores of Nirdiv banded together in a mutual protection society. The small earldom of Walworth had the advantage of possessing a sizable island upon which was to be built the only city in the whole district, so its lord was chosen as knight commander of the combined forces of the nobles. A headquarters was established at Admin Fort, and a holy order of religious knights begun. The Shieldlands are still ruled by many small noblemen, while the Earl of Walworth is hereditary general of their combined military and naval forces. Their military activity brings contributions from Furiandi and Ernst, as well as many esquires and knights to serve in the corps of the army, the Knights of the Holy Shielding. This area is currently in desperate straits, with the growing might of the Horn Society menacing the delicate balance. That's my Shieldlands. I like it. It's a land of adventure, a land of intrigue. Complete sandbox again, just like the Bandit Kingdoms, and it borders the Bandit Kingdoms, so you can roll a lot of stories in with the Bandit Kingdoms. I've done that. I did that not terribly long ago. The players were up in the what would be the northeast section of the Shieldlands, and they were getting close to some of the Bandit Kingdom cities, and ended up dealing with some of the Bandit Kingdom's denizens as part of their adventure in the Shieldlands. This is a great spot to adventure. I love that their headquarters, the only city, is on an island in the Nirdiv. As I said, Bright Century is called out here on this map. This, I believe, is from the Ashes map. But as I say, in my game, my campaign, that's Stormcrow Isle. Craig ran me through a fantastic game to capture Stormcrow Isle in the early 2000s. Early 2000s were a tough time for our gaming group. We lost almost everybody. For a while, it was Craig and I alone keeping the light alive. He and I would meet every week or so, and I'd run him in a solo game, and he'd run me in a solo game. And I ran a kind of a die-hard game for his his bard, and he ran the Stormcrow Isle for me. And it was kind of neat to get Stormcrow Isle established, and he's still the master of the island to this day. And as I said earlier, very much allied with the Kingdom of Furiandi and the Shieldlands. Now it has Critwall here as a major city as well, and I have always used Critwall as an important city, although I had Critwall come under serious attack during the Greyhawk Wars, and I did some games with that. Shieldlands is a lot of fun. It's an open kind of place. You can do any style of game you want in there if your characters are all neutral or maybe even all evil. I've run the all evil campaigns. They're a lot of fun. By the way, if you're ever going to run an all evil campaign, establish this rule quickly. You as the DM will cremate any character that decides he's going to pick on other characters, because otherwise you're just going to squabble all night at the table. But if you've got the lightning bolt out of nowhere coming in to keep the players in line, it actually can make an evil game good. Not always, wouldn't be everybody's taste, but it's the way it works for me. But in any case, the Shieldlands can run any kind of campaign. You also have paladins that come out of the Shieldlands, other cavaliers, other types of knights coming out of the Shieldlands, and of course plenty of corruption and intrigue. It can be a lot of fun. So I recommend the Shieldlands. Take a look at them, have some fun with them, and let me know what you've done with them. Are they completely decimated in yours and rebuilding, or are they still a semi-functioning country that's lost most of its northern territories? Let me know in the comments below. I'd be really interested to hear. Also, please take a look at the Patreon, see if you can help me out there. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Tell your friends. Let's keep growing the channel. But that's all I've got to say today on the Shieldlands, today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.